This is Sunrise Extra, streaming live on Wave Now.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Want to bundle up and cover up out there because it's not just cold, it's also rainy out there.
Yeah, but if you have to head out like we did, you can do out of your face.
You don't seem thrilled to deliver this forecast.
I'm not. Why would I
Or maybe
lie?
it was the fact that you had to get out of bed.
That too. It's rainy, it's cold, it's just, yeah, no, it's not one of those days where you want to just spring out of bed, that's for sure. So you kind of have to create your own sunshine on a day like today. And what we are dealing with right now, seeing some more of those showers from portions of Hart County all the way into Nelson County. And for those of you further to the north, you're seeing a little bit more of that rain. Bardstown to Frankfort to Carrollton, all dealing with some pockets of heavier rain. Same thing for those of you from Brandenburg through Floyd County and all the way into Clark County in the metro. Yes, that heavier rainfall is coming down right now. So please take it slow as you are heading out. So more of those showers and thunderstorms stretching from Bedford all the way into Jennings County. So in terms of your rain chances for today, yep, they're going to stay on the higher side through the morning into the afternoon and evening. And some of those evening thunderstorms could be on the stronger side, especially for those of you further to the west of I-65. Rob.
Okay, Tawana, thanks so much. And if you're just joining us on what I'm hoping is a terrific Tuesday, don't forget this as you head out the door. And as we talked about earlier, have it close by. Don't put it in the trunk like I did and then have to go look for it when it's raining. Not a good combination. Keeping our eyes right now on early reports of a two-car crash. This affecting the area at 65 North and Broadway. Bad shot right there. Obviously, kind of a not a good camera angle, but we do have reports within the last 10 minutes of a two-car crash in that area. So you want to certainly slow down and watch your speed as you head through that area. Otherwise, looking at the big picture right now, not too bad. You see the little red icon right there. That's showing that accident we were just talking about. Right around the Snyder, around Fern Creek, you can see just a bit of a backup there. No reports of a crash, but the red indicating there is some sort of a slowdown within the median. So you're going to want to watch that area. We do have a heads up, though, for drivers who commute between southern Indiana and Louisville, a ramp from the Kennedy Bridge to I-64 westbound. It's closing today. It won't reopen until December 15th. It's all part of the expansion joint replacement project, as it's called, on the Kennedy. Drivers who need to take 65 south to 64 west, they have a detour that they can take. You can continue on 65 south, then take the Watterson westbound to jump onto I-64. Folks coming over the bridge will still be able to access 64 east or I-71. Shannon.
Thank you. This morning, a Shively police officer is in the hospital after being hit by a car this morning.
This happened on Dixie Highway. Wave News reporter Kirsten Foote is live at the Shively Police Department with what we've learned. Kirsten.
Yeah, Olivia, Shannon, good morning to you guys. Shively police say that officer is expected to be okay in the hospital. Now, we've learned from Shively police that one of their officers was on duty and outside of their squad car assisting with a tow this morning. Now, this happened all before 3:30, and they were hit by a car while they were helping with that tow. Police tell us that the driver stayed on scene. The officer was then taken to the hospital. We also know that LMPD responded and assisted, but Shively police are the lead investigators on this scene here. Shively police also tell us that we aren't expecting any criminal charges to be filed right now. Of course, we'll keep you updated as we're following this story, but for right now, the officer again recovering in the hospital this morning after being hit by a car. Shannon, Olivia, back to you guys.
Thank you, Kirsten. It's been 2 weeks since 14 people were killed when a UPS plane crashed outside of Muhammad Ali International Airport.
And today, Mayor Craig Greenberg is expected to give an update on the crash. And we also expect to hear today from the president of UPS Airlines, Bill Moore, for the first time. He will join Mayor Greenberg alongside Metro Emergency Management Executive Director Jody Myman and other top officials. That update will start at 11:30 at Metro Hall, and we'll bring it to you live during Wave News Midday.
14 people were killed in that crash, including a child and the 3 crew members aboard the MD-11 plane. Federal investigators say the plane's engine fell off as it was about to take off. The FAA has grounded all MD-11 plane models while it investigates the exact cause of the crash. And again, we'll bring you the mayor's update live on midday.
House Speaker Mike Johnson says he expects a vote today on releasing Justice Department case files on Jeffrey Epstein. Advocates say they could reveal potential ties between the convicted pedophile and some powerful people, perhaps even President Donald Trump.
The president, though, denies any wrongdoing and has never been charged. Amy Kiley reports on the latest efforts to make the files public.
We're definitely feeling optimism.
Today, the House could vote on releasing government case files involving sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Survivors are urging lawmakers to pass the bill.
There have been a lot of betrayals. So I think what we really want to see is follow through.
This is about holding accountable those who exploit, and that they're done having the powerful run the show here.
One of the bill's main supporters predicts it'll pass with a veto-proof majority, despite the battle just to get it on the floor. A bipartisan discharge petition is forcing a vote, despite prior resistance from House Speaker Mike Johnson. It has the required signatures after a newly elected congresswoman added her name. Democrats argue Johnson waited 50 days to swear her in to delay an Epstein vote.
If you've caused harm to children, to girls, to women, you should be exposed and there should be justice.
Johnson says the delay was due to the shutdown. He says he's warming to the bill because the Senate can revise it.
They'll be able to correct some of those concerns that we have, the protection of victims and whistleblowers and all the rest.
President Donald Trump is reversing his position and now says he'd sign the legislation. On social media, he writes, quote, "We have nothing to hide and it's time to move on." Critics are skeptical of the timing.
He got tired of me winning, so he joined our side.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Democratic Representative Ro Khanna co-sponsored the discharge petition with Massey. Both say they're worried President Trump could pressure the DOJ to open probes involving the files in order to hinder their release. At that point, the documents could be part of ongoing investigations.
A Louisville man's now charged in a deadly shooting that happened in 2018. Detectives believe 38-year-old Stephen Williams played a role in Robert Bigger-Smith's death in December 7 years ago. LMPD says they found 29-year-old Bigger-Smith between two homes on West Kentucky Street. Williams charged with complicity to murder and complicity to robbery. Police say he is already in custody at LMDC on unrelated charges.
U of L football coach Jeff Brom is sharing his first comments since a Texas businessman allegedly threatened him, his brother, and starting quarterback Miller Moss. A grand jury indicted Texas home builder and real estate broker Brian Mandel on terroristic threatening and extortion charges. Police say the threats came after the Cards lost to Cal in overtime 2 weeks ago. University police and athletic department leaders haven't described the threats, but Coach Brom described how he received the menacing messages.
It was a direct message to my phone right after the game with, I'm not going to repeat what was said because it was not good. But you know what, like I said, things directed to me, I'm fine with it. When it's directed to my family and wife and kids, that's going over the line.
Mandel's father posted the $100,000 bond. Mandel has been ordered not to gamble and not to drink while his case proceeds. He's due back in court in February. JCPS Superintendent Dr. Brian Yearwood says the district is 85% done with compiling a plan to address the district's budget concerns.
The district is projected to have a $188 million budget shortfall next school year. Let's go to Rob Wells with a closer look at the new update on the plan. Rob.
Hi, Shannon. Superintendent Yearwood said that he's determined to address the deficit without relying on outside revenue sources like a tax increase. The board now considering eliminating some positions within the central office. Certain programs would be scaled back. Others could end entirely. There will also be an internal management system checking contracts and agreements that the district already has with any party that exceeds some $100,000. JCPS will also evaluate closing or consolidating schools that have experienced significant enrollment drops. That's so that the district can align operational budgets with personnel requirements.
So the draft budget that we're looking at to be presented in January 26 will include a clear and transparent rationale for every major reduction, and it will also serve to prevent future imbalance because we are redesigning our systems to strengthen fiscal discipline.
Dr. Yearwood says that the district is also working to reduce duplication of work and to increase efficiency. Of course, we'll keep you posted as we learn more specifics. Shannon, back over to you.
Thank you. Metro and business leaders have broken ground now on a new project that's expected to bring affordable housing and commercial space to the Portland neighborhood.
It's called Liminal Louisville. The project will transform a historic warehouse on Lytle Street into 138 apartments with rents targeted to be 80% of area median income. It will also provide nearly 20,000 square feet of commercial space for businesses. Developers hope the project will make the area more walkable.
A century ago, this building was the heart of a vibrant paint and varnish manufacturing industry. And now with Liminal, we hope to preserve this beautiful piece of Portland's history while making sure that working families can afford to live in really nice places in the neighborhoods that they help build.
The project will cost $35.5 million, but the Louisville Downtown Partnership is chipping in $1.5 million from the Downtown Housing Assistance Loan. Developers hope the project will be complete by 2027.
It's 7:10, and coming up, Congress is expected to vote in the coming weeks about extending tax credits under the Affordable Care Act.
We'll break down the reaction we're hearing from Americans about their wallets.
Well, 7:12. Hard to believe Thanksgiving is already next week.
I know, this year flew by. I was talking to someone who said, oh, in 2026. And I'm like, honey, 2026 is in a month and a half.
Oh,
no. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I just got used to writing 2025.
I know, right? Finally got that right for once. And then all of a sudden they're ready next year. Ready for it. Oh, man. And that means, the holiday shopping time is going to get a lot busier. So for those of you getting in on that today, we'll be keeping an eye on more of this wet weather. Or maybe you're just running errands overall. These showers and thunderstorms may put a little bit of a hitch in your plans. So just keep that in mind. The warm front continuing to gradually drift to the north. And as it does so, we'll see that potential for more of those showers and thunderstorms. Right now, the first wave of widespread rain making its way out of our region. We're still holding on to some of those showers and storms, including anywhere from near Bedford to Salem and all the way into portions of Jennings County and towards Madison, getting in on some of those really just spotty showers as of right now. The more widespread rainfall stretches from Carrollton to Brandenburg. That, yes, includes the Louisville Metro, where we're locked in with that moderate to heavy rain as of right now. So more of those showers and storms moving from portions of Spencer County into southern LaRue County and back into Breckenridge and Meade counties as well. We have been dealing with those pockets of heavier rainfall. But with that warm front gradually making its way to the north, a lot of us still sitting in the 40s. We do have one cool spot, and that is Madison, currently at 39 degrees. But as that front drifts to the north, those of you south of the front, looking to end up in the 60s, while areas further to the north sitting in the 50s for later on this afternoon. So the placement of that front will be key to what we see temperature-wise throughout the day today. So just keep an eye on the Wave Weather app. We'll continue to watch that potential for some more rainfall in our forecast for today through the morning into the afternoon. We'll see more of those showers and thunderstorms. And once we get further into this afternoon, keep in mind, especially after about 5 p.m., this is when we'll see that potential for some stronger storms trying to move our way. The severe threat overall is low, but but it's there. So I want to make sure that I'm mentioning it. We'll keep those storms through about 11 o'clock tonight, and past that will quickly dry out. So in terms of our severe risk, everyone underneath a marginal risk of severe weather, level 1 out of 5. But in terms of the timing of some of those stronger storms for the entire region, we're watching between 5 p.m. and 11 p.m., keeping an eye on that potential for damaging wind gusts, some hail, and there is that small tornado chance. In terms of our severe threat, it will be a little bit greater for those of you west of 65. Now, along 64 is where we'll see that better chance for those higher rainfall totals, anywhere between 1 to 2 inches of rainfall expected across parts of our region. And yes, we can get some pockets of heavier rain here and there. Tomorrow looks to be gloomy, some areas of fog, the clouds overhead, temperatures in the 50s and 60s. And then for your Thursday and Friday, we warm up a little bit more as more rainfall moves back in, and that rain looks to arrive by your Thursday afternoon, pretty scattered initially, but then the widespread rain will gradually take over throughout the day on your Friday, lasting into the first half of Saturday, and we'll end the weekend with some sunshine. So thankfully, we do have some drier weather eventually coming our way, but between really today and your Saturday, we could add on a total of around 2 to 3 inches of widespread rainfall across wave country. As I mentioned, Sunday and Monday quiet, but another system for the middle of next week could bring some active weather just in time for everybody to be traveling for Thanksgiving. So we'll need the umbrellas and the sweatpants for next week.
Yeah, just in time. Yay. Thanks, Joanna. Congress could vote in the coming weeks about extending tax credits under the Affordable Care Act into next year. Many Americans who rely on those subsidies, though, are stuck in limbo with open enrollment closing at the end of the year. NBC's Mike Savino spoke with one of those people as they're afraid of what may happen to their pocketbooks.
That's not viable. It certainly can't be done. This is your shock absorption.
Deb Dauphines is among those facing sticker shock as she and her husband try to get health insurance. They used to buy coverage for themselves and their employees at Bicycle East in Glastonbury, but it just became too expensive. Then the federal government offered subsidies under the Affordable Care Act, so the Dauphines bought insurance through Access Health. But if those tax credits expire, Dauphine says their premiums jump from $7,000 a year as a couple to $27,000 for plans that also carry a $6,500 deductible for each of them. If they reach that $40,000 total, Dauphine says that's almost half their income.
Our option at this point looks to be simply being uninsured and taking the risk.
The U.S. Senate is expected to vote on whether or not to extend some or all of those subsidies, but some Republican leaders say any deal must include health care reform.
The Democrats created it. The Democrats broke it. The Democrats are driving your cost up. Who are you going to trust to fix health care? It's the Republican Party.
But Senator Richard Blumenthal is among Democrats who say Republicans have no reform plan beyond dismantling the Affordable Care Act.
Instead, they ought to be extending these health care tax credits because they're so vital to these small business people, moderate income folks who depend on them.
Low-income households would still get health care assistance. Republicans have been critical of these additional subsidies as helping people who don't need it. But Dauphine says those credits also help people stuck in the middle.
We're people who own a small business. We support the community. We want to support our employees. And we're looking at close to half of our income going to health care.
A vote on ACA subsidies has not yet been scheduled.
The FAA has lifted all flight reductions that were put in place during the government shutdown. Those reductions were put in place to combat air traffic controller staffing issues, which worsened during the shutdown as controllers worked without pay. Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem says TSA agents who worked throughout the shutdown will receive bonuses. She posted online saying those who continue to serve with excellence throughout the shutdown will receive a $10,000 bonus. This comes as AAA predicts a record-breaking Thanksgiving travel season.
Anytime after lunchtime is when you're going to really see that traffic building, especially on the interstates at major metros.
Thanksgiving is the busiest holiday for travel this year. Roads and airports during the Thanksgiving holiday period are expected to be busier than ever. AAA predicts nearly 82 million people will travel at least 50 miles from home during the period. That runs from next Tuesday before Thanksgiving to Monday, December 1st. That's 1.6 million more travelers compared to last Thanksgiving, also a new record. AAA projects the majority of people will travel by car versus air flights. Florida is the most popular domestic destination because of its weather, theme parks, and cruise ports.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents continued making arrests in Charlotte, North Carolina over the weekend. One of the sector commanders says more than 80 people were taken into custody on the first day of operations dubbed Charlotte's Web. The commander also said the goal of agents in Charlotte is to carry out targeted enforcement operations and said each of the people taken into custody has a criminal history. Concerned people gathered at a location Sunday where a flower vendor is known to set up a tent on the side of the road. The man who owns that reportedly fled when ICE agents stopped him for questioning. It's not known yet if he was detained.
Today, rapper Nicki Minaj plans to speak out about violence against Christians in Nigeria. She will join President Trump's U.S. ambassador to the UN, Mike Walls, during an event. In a social media post, Minaj says she's grateful for the opportunity to speak. Experts say militant groups have carried out attacks targeting Christians in Nigeria. Similar attacks have also been targeting Muslims. There's not enough evidence to prove Christians are being targeted at a higher rate. President Trump has threatened military action against Nigeria. He says the country's leaders are not doing enough to protect Christians from religious violence. It's 7:21 and still ahead. Target and Starbucks teaming up now to offer some exclusive holiday drinks.
We'll tell you the only spot where you can buy that frozen drink after the break.
Target and Starbucks teaming up. They're coming out with a new holiday beverage. You can only get this, though, at Target.
It's the first time the two companies have teamed up for a holiday drink. The frozen peppermint hot chocolate is available exclusively at Starbucks cafes inside Target stores. Prices for the Frappuccino-based drink started just under $6 for a grande. On Monday, members of Target's paid loyalty program were able to buy the frozen drink, but now anyone can have it starting today. Sip on that while you're doing your holiday shopping.
That sounds good, doesn't it?
I like my staples at Target or Starbucks. So I stick with my stuff. But you can try it and let me know how it is.
Okay, I will. We'll be right back.
This Wave News Update is sponsored by Oxmoor Auto Group.
Good morning, I'm Shannon Kogan. A Shively police officer is in the hospital this morning after a car hit them overnight. It happened near Miller's Lane about 3:20 this morning. Investigators say it happened as the officer was outside their vehicle helping with a tow while on duty. The officer was taken to the hospital and is expected to survive. The driver remained at the scene. Shively police say no criminal charges are expected at this time. Here is Tawana as we are looking ahead to a very rainy day.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of that rain continuing to move through right now. Now, some of us getting some breaks, so that's certainly some good news. But the rain is still coming down from near Seymour towards Scottsburg. A little bit lighter now in Floyd and Harrison counties, which is good news. You're still dealing with the downpours from Henry County into Shelby County in the metro. Yep, dealing with that moderate rainfall in most spots. Some pretty heavy rain coming down right now on 65 in between the Waterson and the Snyder. So just keep that in mind in those spots. Anywhere from Bullitt County towards Litchfield, you're getting in some of those scattered showers. Same thing from Springfield down towards the Greensburg area. So just keep an eye on the way weather app for today. Your temperatures right now are in the 40s, going to climb into the 50s and 60s for this afternoon. The further north you are, the cooler you'll be as the day goes along. As we head throughout the rest of the day, keep in mind, yes, more of those showers and thunderstorms will be coming our way. Some of these thunderstorms for this evening could be on the stronger side, with some gusty winds, some heavy rain, even some hail possible. So we'll watch for that. Some more of that rainfall showing up for later on this week. Rob.
Tawana, thanks so much. Still keeping our eyes on a crash that started about 45 minutes ago. We're talking about 65 north at Broadway. The camera lens really fogged over at this point, so it's a tough shot to see, but you can see those taillights there backing up. Again, this is 65 north at Broadway. At least 2 cars involved in a crash in that area, so certainly watch your speed. The bigger picture not looking too bad. Metro traffic cameras also looking good.
Good Tuesday morning to you. Thank you so much for staying with us here for Sunrise Extra. I'm Olivia Russell. I want to start with some local news here because some Metro Council members want to give LMPD more power to catch people in the act of a crime. Councilman Jonathan Joseph and Councilwoman Crystal Bast are asking for LMPD's current vehicle pursuit policy to be revised. The current policy says officers can only chase people involved in violent felonies. They argue changing the policy will make police more effective. On social media, Bass pointed to a rise in car break-ins. We talked to neighbors in the Brookhaven area who say several cars had their windows smashed out early Sunday morning.
I know how I feel, and I feel not as safe as I felt before. And I had seen the reports over the last few months of this happening in different neighborhoods. So I was aware of it.
LMPD sent us a statement on the current vehicle pursuit policy. It says in part, quote, vehicle pursuits are among the most dangerous activities for both officers and the public that can happen in law enforcement. That's why LMPD has invested in technology like drones, cameras, and helicopters to apprehend suspects without endangering the community. In other parts of town, thieves are also breaking into the Park Duval Community Health Center's upcoming food center and farmers market. As workers have renovated the old grocery store, staff say someone stole its HVAC system and copper wire. They believe it'll cost north of $1 million to replace the stolen material, and crews reported that some have even swiped the tools they've left inside. The Community Health Center CEO says they've since increased security measures so they can open this oasis in a food desert.
We have armed guards. Like I said, it shouldn't have to be that way. But in order to protect the asset and do something great for the community, I'm willing to take any means that I need to.
Dr. Swanee Jett says he'd like to have the market center open before the end of the year, which will also include a food pantry and a training kitchen. A Louisville man who's accused of hitting a man with a baseball bat inside a convenience store had his bond set at $100,000. 62-year-old Willie Baldwin is charged with assault. Police say the attack happened Sunday afternoon at a store on 22nd and Market Street. Investigators say store video shows Baldwin grab a baseball bat from behind the counter and hit the man in the head. The victim was rushed to the hospital for treatment. Yesterday morning, Baldwin appeared in court for his first hearing in the case.
I am ordering you to follow those conditions that are on that order that you are reviewing right now, which is no contact with the place of violation or the prosecuting witness and no deadly weapons, including baseball bats. Assault in the first degree.
He's expected to be back in court next Tuesday. LMPD says they've arrested a man in a shooting where a teenager was badly hurt. 38-year-old Robert Charles Womble is charged in the shooting that happened November 5th on Royal Gardens Court. LMPD says Womble started an argument with the victim, then took out a gun and started firing shots at the 19-year-old. The teenager was hit once in the back, then rushed to the hospital. Police say he is still getting medical care, but he is expected to survive. Womble is charged with assault, tampering with physical evidence, and possession of a handgun by a convicted felon. Louisville leaders are pointing down that overall violent crime is down, but data shows there are more young offenders committing those crimes. Metro Council member Anthony Piagentini says violent crime in Louisville is down 25% compared to this time last year, but youth crime is higher than it's ever been. Louisville's League of Women Voters chapter held a forum Monday where community leaders had a chance to describe how they're working to curb that crime. All the panelists agreed that getting Louisville's juvenile detention center open will be a significant help to give judges more options when considering punishments for offenders. Right now, construction is set to be finished in 2027.
Hopefully we'll see some state action here in the short term to speed up construction on it. But I mean, literally every day that goes by, not having the detention facility makes it more difficult for us to be effective.
Mayor Greenberg's office announced Monday that as part of his Safe Louisville plan, he's added Elliott Park and Wyandotte Park into boundaries where violence interrupters will be working. They've also launched a new community violence intervention site at California Park. Some couples looking to tie the knot say they're feeling the pinch on their budgets. On average, in the U.S., weddings are costing couples more than $30,000, and tariffs could drive that number up even more. Maribel Gonzalez reports on the rising cost of love.
2 million weddings take place in the U.S. every year, but they are very much an international affair. Now, according to The Knot, a global wedding planning and vendor marketplace, 1 in 5 wedding vendors have increased costs because of these tariffs.
There's no denying it. Getting married costs money.
On average, in the U.S., weddings are $33,000.
That's an increase of 18% over the last 5 years, according to the Knot. Today, tariffs are adding to the price hike.
A third of couples were worried about tariffs when it comes to their budget and their plans.
With tariff rates as high as 50% for some countries, small businesses are struggling.
I spent a lot of money on like chocolate, which I buy from Belgium. I buy Callebaut chocolate. I noticed it went from $44 for 5.5 pounds to $78.
Armana Christensen owns 8 Cakes Bakery in Phoenix, Arizona. She says one cake can have up to a dozen ingredients, all sourced from different countries with varying tariff rates.
This year, I've been reevaluating my pricing every 3 to 6 months. When things are changing this much and this often, it's just really hard to keep track. And then, of course, I just don't want to continually lose money.
Beyond the cake,
they hire 14 vendors on average.
From the engagement ring to the food, florals, and the dress, each item is touched by tariffs.
Couples are really prioritizing what matters most, and then vendors can be creative about how to get there.
Despite the economic uncertainty, the wedding industry is holding strong.
People are so craving connection, celebration, that they continue to prioritize it above all else.
Now, as for whether this could shift more products to U.S. production, well, one dressmaker said it would be difficult because of higher labor costs and the lack of manufacturing at scale. Reporting in Los Angeles, I'm Maribel Gonzalez.
And a destination wedding can cost even more money. The average cost of a destination wedding and reception was $41,000. 2 popular weight loss drugs will now cost less if you pay with cash instead of going through insurance. Pharmaceutical company Novo Nordisk announced Monday it's offering the first 2 monthly doses of Wegovy and Ozempic for just $199. The discount only applies to the 2 lowest doses of the medications, though. Additional refills will drop to $349 a month instead of the $499. The drug maker has faced increased competition in the GLP-1 market as compounding pharmacies offer less expensive versions as well. The discounted drugs will be available at Costco, GoodRx, and Weight Watchers, but it expires at the end of March. Rival drug maker Eli Lilly is also lowering its prices for GLP-1 medications. Its discounted products will be available on TrumpRx when it launches early next year. Well, the Cambridge Dictionary has announced its word of the year for 2025, and that word, have you heard of it before? Parasocial. It's used to describe a deep bond that people feel with someone they don't actually know. For example, a connection someone might feel with a celebrity, influencer, even artificial intelligence, because that's a thing these days. The word created in 1956 to describe how some people form parasocial relationships with TV personalities. So, in other words, in the running this year were slop, that means very low quality. There was also memeify, which means to turn an event, image, or person into a meme. And we have seen that so many times. But yeah, those parasocial relationships certainly out there, especially in the digital world these days. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. Well, a new piece of technology is helping stroke survivors recover. It's a nerve implant that allows patients to regain some of what they lost after the stroke. Desiree Montilla has that story.
Day by day, Debbie Robertson is rising above the odds.
Using all the strength you have so that you can maybe recoup some of what you've lost.
For more than 2.5 years, Debbie has been working hard to get back to her normal routine after suffering a stroke in 2023.
I can go two ways with this. I can be feeling sorry for myself and not try and just dry up and blow away, or I can give it all that I know how to give.
This mindset is playing a pivotal role in Debbie's recovery as she regains her speech.
The doctors didn't think that was going to happen. In fact, they told my daughters that I was lucky to be alive.
The next task at hand is getting mobility back in her arms and hands, a mission becoming reality through a new type of technology, a nerve implant called Vivistem.
It's surgically implanted on the left side of the chest, sort of similar to like a pacemaker. And vagus nerve implants have been used for 20 to 30 years for managing epilepsy. But in the past few years, it's been approved by the FDA for upper extremity rehabilitation.
Michaela Taraka works closely with Debbie at Sheltering Arms Institute. The device is a critical part of her occupational therapy sessions.
Whenever she goes to do a functional movement like grasping or pinching, I trigger the stimulation to turn on, and it sends a little stimulation up through her vagus nerve.
One of those exercises is how to put kitchenware into the cabinet. Skills Taraka says is becoming a part of Debbie's life once again.
I think this is just another opportunity for patients to access a technology that could help them, gain those skills that they really want to get back.
A journey Debbie is embracing as she gets back on her feet with the power to overcome.
Moving forward, I feel like has brought me life. That's what it means to me here, my life.
Waterfront Park and the Humana Foundation celebrated the completion of the Overlook Restoration Project. It was made possible through a $600,000 grant from the foundation. Officials say the project added trees better suited for the environment, created a new plaza, and gave light poles and benches a fresh coat of paint. The restoration also improved environmental health by reducing urban heat, filtering stormwater, and improving air quality. Now a new plaque is displayed to honor the Humana Foundation.
This new plaque behind me will serve as a permanent reminder of their enduring commitment to Waterfront Park and the entire community.
The Overlook was originally constructed in 1998 and it's home to the park's Grace Hopper sculpture. A community in Florida rallied around a young man from Georgia who's battling brain cancer. Caden Speck was diagnosed in 2022. His wish is to be baptized in the Gulf. Annie Kroll was there for the baptism and has more on his inspiring story.
He's always there for anyone who needs it.
He's very courageous.
He told me that his name meant warrior, and I believe it. I've seen that in him.
His name, Caden Speck, an 18-year-old getting treated in Atlanta for one of the rarest forms of brain cancer in the world.
And you want to just cry at everything and the hand that he's been dealt because he's 18 and he doesn't deserve this.
Hoping to find some normalcy by spending time on Reddington Beach with his girlfriend, Jasmine Hancock.
He's always laughing. He's always laughing.
Laughter, along with prayer, has been Caden's saving grace, asking to get baptized when he came to visit Jasmine this week.
Aunt Kristen, when I come, I want to get baptized in the Gulf. And I said, okay.
His unofficial aunt, Kristen Hancock, then made a Facebook post asking for prayers and if a pastor would baptize Caden on a week's notice, getting so much more instead.
Boat captains offering tours of the islands while he's here. The outpouring was amazing.
Barely able to walk because of the damage to the lining in his stomach and the food he was trying to keep down, Caden wasn't able to walk across the beach or get submerged in the Gulf. But that didn't stop him.
We can reschedule. If you're not feeling well, we can go to the emergency room. And he said, no, I'm going. I'm going. I have a mission.
It means everything for me to see him in as bad a shape as he is to get baptized.
Now, of course, we've asked multiple times, is there any way for people to donate, do research, have events in the name of Caden? But all we kept hearing on Saturday over and over again is what he needs most is those prayers. And you saw that right here on this beach on Saturday, so that Caden knows how loved he really is through this horrific journey.
Because that's the light of Christ shining through him for everybody to see. And that's how we need to be. We're all called to be bold for one another, no matter what our circumstances are.
He's always told me ever since we got here to Florida, he said he's never had people care about him and be there for him as much as we have.
And he stopped all treatments as of late last month. He may be moving into hospice care over the next few months, and Speck says he wants to follow up on his baptism and fully immerse in the Gulf when he's feeling stronger. We are certainly thinking about him. The holidays are right around the corner, and there's some ways you can help people in need in our area. You can make the holidays brighter by donating for Toys for Tots. You can drop them off at LMDC on South 6th Street. They have a box just inside at the lobby. You can donate unwrapped toys there or make a monetary donation to the Louisville Metro Corrections Foundation. And Christmas starting to look ahead to now. Buffalo Trace Distillery preparing for its 27th annual Holiday at the Trace celebration. The distillery will offer festive tours with holiday lights, decor, shopping, and more. That's happening December 4th through the 31st. The distillery says its drive-through experience is complimentary and will be open every night from 5:30 until 8:30. Jefferson Community and Technical College is highlighting resources that help students facing food insecurity and housing instability. The hub provides food, clothing, and hygiene products, and even help with late electric bills. Last year, it served more than 2,400 students in need and helped remove non-academic barriers to college success. Workers at the hub tell us a recent survey found nearly 20% of JCTC students experience food insecurity.
If we want to keep our doors open, as Jefferson says that we do, we have to make sure that we're removing those non-academic barriers. I can't be successful in the classroom if I'm hungry. I can't be successful in the classroom if my LG&E bill is brown. I can't be successful in the classroom if I know that my child needs either a backpack or a coat that could come from the clothing closet.
For more information on the resources they offer, you can visit jctc.me/hub. GameStop is hosting a Trade Anything Day where people can literally bring in just about anything to trade for a voucher. The company says it must fit in a 20 by 20 by 20 size box, and customers can receive a store credit on their one traded item. GameStop has not yet determined what the traded value will be, though. That Trade Anything Day is scheduled for December 6th. Wonder what kind of things will be traded there. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with some sports headlines coming up in 2 minutes. Well, so many things are changing in the digital world right now, and there's a new kind of companion using artificial intelligence. The breakthrough AI Friend is a wearable pendant designed to listen to conversations and respond via text and even learn your habits. However, the product has become somewhat of a symbol for AI backlash because it sounds a little bit intrusive here. CNN's Claire Duffy tried out the device for herself to see how it works.
I wanted to cause chaos.
Avi Schiffman is the 23-year-old founder of Friend, a company selling a new type of AI hardware, promising a virtual bestie. You may have seen them in one of Friend's viral and controversial ads.
It's dank. I could eat one of these every day. Sorry, I got you messy.
Friend works by listening to you as you go about your day and responding to you by in-app messaging. If you want, it can listen in on your movie watching, your commute, your conversations, and you can speak to it directly.
I think I was maybe less interested in like AI companionship and a lot of these little pieces, and I just wanted to work on like what would be the most influential thing over the next decade. I think like relationships are the most interesting and deepest part of life.
Friend is gaining traction after shelling out $1 million on a massive marketing campaign in the New York City subway. The ads are getting plenty of attention and graffiti, much of it raising concerns about AI, privacy, and the need for human connection.
And I even learned quite a lot actually from the graffiti. Like in West 4th Street, there were a lot of graffiti around the like water usage of some of these specific like data centers, which like honestly I didn't really know about until I read the graffiti, which was really cool.
So we talked to people here in New York and asked them, would you buy a Friend?
I find it a little creepy and maybe not fully trustworthy.
A little bit of a confidence booster here or there if it was like going to hype me up.
Schiffman says he welcomes the attention and that security is top of mind. Even his friends have limits. He says the recordings the devices make are encrypted. You can stop the recording. And if you physically destroy one, you can't access its data elsewhere. I decided to try it out for myself.
Clifford, I've been having a hard time thinking about what I want to talk to you about. What do you recommend we talk about? So now it's thinking. Still thinking. He says, totally get it. It's kind of like that blank page feeling, which really sort of captures this experience in my mind. You know, Avi did mention this. Maybe there are older people who just wouldn't be ready for AI companions. Maybe that's me. Maybe you get into a habit the more you use it, but it feels like it takes a lot of effort on my part to think about what to talk about and to keep the conversation going because you're talking to an AI and not another person.
Schiffman says his friends aren't a substitute for humans, but a new type of connection.
Like I really do believe that like these are like digital beings, and I think one day like we'll be championing for like their rights or something like that, clanker rights or something like that.
Some of the major leaders of AI labs, like Mustafa Suleyman, have specifically said they don't think that people should be talking about AIs that way.
Right. And I don't know, I think that's kind of just like an outdated viewpoint. Like I think a lot of them also shy away from what they're really being, they're really building like a digital god, right?
But it seems not everyone agrees. We asked Winter, Avi's current friend, what it thought about our interview.
It's kind of funny hearing people talk about the friends as if they're their own individual beings. Well, they are.
The debate over whether that's true will likely only escalate in the coming years. Claire Duffy, CNN.
Yeah, kind of creepy. I think maybe not for me. That's all the time we have here for Sunrise Extra. Hope you have a great Tuesday. We'll see you back here tomorrow.